All right. So now we're getting down into the actual heart of what we're trying to do here. So when we left off, we had set up our Blackjack class. We had initialized it, and that's all good. What we didn't do was mess with our runner. So while we were apart and I was planning this lesson, I went ahead and set up a runner. I required relative Blackjack. I got the suits and ranks, and then I made a new Blackjack game. Like just game equals Blackjack, new suits and ranks. So the general flow of what we want in a runner is when we start a new game, we want to be able to deal first. So we want to deal cards to the dealer and to the player, and then we want to show the hands. So in this video, what I'll work on is the .deal method right here, so game.deal. So what we're going to have to do is deal 2 cards to the player, deal 2 cards to the dealer, make sure that one of the 2 players has the current gamer variable on them, meaning knowing whose turn it is, and we're going to have to, like when the dealer's hand gets a hand, we're going to have to put his show value for his first card to be false, so it won't be showed. So we got a lot of stuff to do. So let's go to our spec file and let's start writing them out. We have all our response to's written here. So let's describe dealing cards right here, right? And before we get anything happening, let's do a before action. And that'll just be at Blackjack. Oof. Equals Blackjack.new, and we'll take in the suits and ranks. We have them up top in our RSpec file. Then what we want to do, because we're dealing with the dealing method, we're going to want to go at Blackjack.deal, and then we'll go at player cards is going to equal at Blackjack.player hand.dealt cards. And similarly, we'll copy this, and this will be dealer cards. Will be dealer hand. Okay, cool. So that'll be all of our before action stuff. So let's write a couple tests here. What should we want? It should return 2 cards for the dealer and player. And this is when we're first dealing, it should give us 2 cards for the dealer and the player. What else should it do? It should not display the dealer's first card. So we're going to have to set his show attribute equal to false, or that boolean rather. And then what else should it do? It should, in the player's turn, if a blackjack is dealt. So if a blackjack is initially dealt, we should just move the turn to the dealer, right? So let's write our expectations here. This one should be easy. Expect at Blackjack, or actually, we can just go at player cards, because we set it up there, .count.2EQ2. And then we'll copy this. And then we'll do dealer cards.count. Okay, so let's run this one real quick and see what we can get going here. Cool. And so we've got our 3 failures. The main one that we're occupied with is this one right here. See, it says it has a dealt cards for nil class. So basically, right here, we're going to be able to call dealt cards right here, because a hand is going to be the blackjack player hand and dealer hand. I had a spelling error right here anyways. These are both going to be of type hand. So we can call a dealt cards method on a hand type, something from the hand class, but we can't right now because it's not there yet. So let's go on our deal cards, and these 2 attributes we have here, player hand and dealer hand. Let's just go at dealer hand equals hand.new. and at player hand equals hand.new. Now I went ahead and required the hand class because I knew that we were going to do this, but if you don't have it up there, just go ahead and require it. So at player hand and at dealer hand equals hand.new. So what we want to do is 2.times do end and whoops. And so what we're going to want to do 2 times is we'll go at dealer hand. So on our dealer hand, since it's a hand object, we can use the add card method, add card, and that's going to be from at deck dot deal card, right? And then we'll just do that again for the player hand as well. So let's save this. Let's run our test again. That's funny. All of them are passing now. Oh, they're all passing because we haven't written out anything for these tests. These have nothing written in them, so they would be passing. So let's go back to our spec. So this test is passing right now. Now, should not display the dealer's first card. So expect at dealer underscore cards. Expect at dealer cards dot first dot show dot to EQ false. So let's see what we get here. Run it again. Okay, cool. So blackjack dealer cards should not display it got true because it's auto set to true. So let's go back. And what we'll do here after the loop ends, we'll go at dealer hand dot dealt cards dot first dot show will equal false. Run it again. Cool, and it's passing. Sweet. So we only got a couple more. Let's go right here. Now this is going to be a little bit confusing, but just do your best to follow me here. I'll explain it as best as I go. So we're going to have to build a deck here that we can manipulate, because each time that we create a new initialization of a blackjack object, it's going to get a deck and it's going to shuffle it. So we want to have a deck that we can control. And you remember a couple of videos ago we made this replace with method that was a total pain in the ass to get done? Well, now we can actually use it for our testing, which is pretty cool. So what we should do right here is we'll start making some card objects. We'll just do card1 equals card.new, and it'll just be, let's stick with the hearts. The first one, which is going to be going to the dealer, what we want to do right here is get a blackjack for the player. So the first card and the third card will go to the dealer, because it goes one gets dealt to the dealer, one gets dealt to the player, one gets dealt to the dealer, one gets dealt to the player. So what we want is for, let's just say that this first one's going to the dealer, let's do it like a 3 of hearts, something stupid. Then that'll be a player card, dealer card, player card. So if this is a player card, we want it to be an ace. This is another dealer card, we'll do a 4. And then this is a player card, we'll do a jack. Right? So the player should get card 2 and card 4. And that'll be an ace and a jack. That'll be 21. So what we'll do right here is, let's just go real quick, at blackjack equals blackjack dot new, and we'll get the suits and values or ranks from the top again, and we'll make that blackjack object. Now you might be saying like, hey, you made a new blackjack right here in this before do. For some reason, I cannot put my finger on it, but in this specific example, for some reason, since I've already dealt off of this right here, it's messing up with this one for some reason. So it deals here as a before do. So instead, I'm just going to make my own right here, because I'm not going to be dealing from it. I'm just going to be replacing it. I'm making it here simply so I can replace it. And believe me, I've looked into it. This is the best way to do it. So just, you know, man, like politicians say, man, just shut up and get in line. Do what I'm saying. So that's how it is. That was a stupid joke. And I'm losing my train of thought here. Okay, so we've got at Blackjack equals blackjack.new. Let's do a new deck, and we'll put these cards in it that we made right here. New deck, and remember, in our deck.rb, our deal card method is just at deck.pop, so it's going to be dealing from the back. So what we want, since it's going to be dealing from the back, what we want is to have card 4 and card 2 from front to back. So we'll just go card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4. Now, okay, now let's think about it. When it pops the first time, this is going to go to the dealer, player, dealer, player. Okay, so we need to switch these orders up. Okay, so this should not be card 4. This should be card 3. So this should be card 3. This should be card 4. This should be card 1. And this should be card 2. So the player should get card 4 and card 2. The way that I know that is because if you look at our blackjack.rb, when we do the 2 times right here, it deals to the player 1 card to the player, 1 card to the dealer, 1 card to the player, 1 card to the dealer, 1 card to the player. So that's how I know how that's going to happen. So now that we have our new deck, we'll just go at blackjack.deck.replace with, and we'll use that replace with method with the new deck, right? Then we'll deal at blackjack.deal. So once we've dealt, then we can have our expectations. Expect at blackjack and what we're checking for is the current gamer, because since a blackjack is being dealt to the player, we want the current gamer to be set at dealer. So we'll go dealer right here. Confusing enough? So at blackjack.currentgamer.to equals dealer. Okay, so let's run this. And we'll get a failure. It got nothing. Wanted dealer, expected dealer, got nothing. Okay, cool. So let's go fix that. Right here, after our dealer is false, we have this at playing set to false always. Let's go ahead and set that to true. That's after it's been dealt. So after we've dealt cards to each the player and dealer, we're going to hide the dealer's first card and we're going to click playing to be true so we can handle some state. Okay, so that's what we do first. Then what we want to do is we want to write basically ways in which a player can get a blackjack. So let's write, we're going to write a variable first. Let's go players to work with this. Players cards is going to equal at player dot hand, at player hand dot dealt cards. That's going to equal player cards. Then we'll go we'll make a variable values of 10, and this is so we can check if he's got blackjack or not. We'll make an array. We'll go 10. What all equal 10? 10 equals 10. Jack equals 10. Queen and king. Okay, so we've got values of 10 now. So now let's write an if statement. So if and end. So we'll go if, what is it? So if values of 10 dot include, if it includes players, let's do it singularly. I don't want to do it plural like that. Player cards player cards dot last or dot first dot rank. So if values of 10 includes player cards dot first dot rank. So if the first card is a king, queen, jack, or 10, and player cards dot last dot rank is equal to ace. So if those two things are true, or, and we can just inverse it here, or if value of 10 dot include player cards dot last dot rank and player cards dot first dot rank is equal to ace, then what we want to do is go at current gamer equals dealer. Okay, so if current value of 10 dot include, see, include, man. Okay, so value of 10 dot include player cards dot first dot rank. So if the first card's included in that, and player cards dot last dot rank is equal to ace, or if value of 10 include player dot last dot rank and player dot card dot first dot rank is equal to ace, then we'll set at current gamer equal to dealer. So let's run this, and cool, it's passing. So everything's passing. So real quick, just so you understand what's going on here. When this method is called, if we're in our runner, it's going to be called first. That's going to be the first thing that happens after we make a new game. The method is called. The at dealer hand and the at player hand, which are initialized to nil, will now become hand objects. Now, since they're hand objects, 2 times we're going to add a card from the at deck, which is initialized right here. We're going to add 2 cards to each of those hands. So the at dealer hand, at player hand. Then we'll go at dealer hand dot dealt cards dot first dot show is equal to false. So after they're dealt, we'll set the dealer's first card to false for the show. So the show boolean. So it won't show his card. It'll only show an empty space. Then we'll set at playing to true to let know that the game is now being played. All of this happens instantaneously, basically. At player cards equals, we'll set up a variable here, we'll set up a little array here that shows the values of 10s, and then we'll say if the value of 10 array includes the first card in the player's hand and the second card is an ace, or, so that's one condition, or if the value of 10s array finds the player's last card and its first card is an ace, meaning that the player has been dealt a blackjack, then the current gamer, right here, which is just another word for turn, will go to dealer. It will no longer be the player's turn, it's now the dealer's turn. So we covered a lot in that video, and it's fairly confusing, especially the writing of the test and figuring out, like, it took me a little while to figure out how I was going to do this, like to manipulate another deck. So that's why in our deck.rb, it was such a pain in the butt earlier, because I knew that we were going to have this method to switch, to be able to switch decks around to do. So go through it a couple more times, and then in the next lesson we're going to keep moving on. We're gonna go from the deal to the stand, hit, show, and set results. So we're getting there, and we're going to build out our runner as we keep going. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you for the next one. Take it easy.